That doesn't happen. But what I was going to say in regards to that is that, again, I think men view it from their perspective.
Right.
Like if a woman's coming on hard to you and you're like, whoa, slow down there, lady, I'm a gentleman. Like that's going to make her more attracted to you, not turn you off. But I think men are like, oh, if I get denied, that upsets me.
Right.
You know, and maybe they're like, I can't deny her because she's going to get pissed and then not even want to go on a date with me. But that doesn't happen. Like with women, like they're not going to be upset with you if you're not being sexual back, you know? So
that's a really good game tip for guys, just in general. That applies in so many places where
I mean,
you're afraid to lose the girl.
Part of Girl Game is also saying similar things like that too, because a real way, like without going full into Girl Game, to really hook a guy is to lean on the sexual part because you know that's what they want. You lean on it, but you don't give it to them.
Right.
Like it's like teasing, you know, it's like a performance.
But you're also finding out, you're also vetting him because when, as a woman, you lean on the sexual side and then the guy takes the bait, then you're like, this guy's desperate. He's needy. But if he's like, look, we'll talk more about this in person, or he's like, yo, whoa, watch, you're coming on kind of strong here. It's like, now you know, okay, well, this guy's probably
that's
experienced,
playful and it's fun. And like, it's another layer that I think women would like rather than be like, oh, he didn't like sext me back, like screw him. Like I can't think of any woman that would say that.
Plus, if he's overly eager, then you're like, okay, well, obviously I can just completely dominate this guy with my sexuality. Like he's going to do whatever I want. He's not going to pose any kind of challenge. He's just going to be completely influenced by this. And if he's influenced by my sexuality, he'd be influenced by any woman's sexuality. Any woman can get him to do whatever she wants by just using her sexuality, and that makes him weak. Right?
Mic drop on that. Like that was a good little tidbit right there.
True. But that's all, and that's what all the game is understanding these things from both the male and the female perspective.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. To go going back down our timeline because there's a lot of good
we're
tidbits here. The next thing I want to bring up is that I don't think a woman should let a man pick her up on the first date.
Okay. I think he should potentially offer.
I think offering's fine. I don't think a woman should do it because again, like safety, like I'm always going to stress safety. Like when I was dating, that was key, especially because I lived alone as a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, but even with roommates, it's just not a good idea to have this stranger, like he's a stranger, come to your house and now he knows where you live.
Yeah, that's true. Because there's a lot of weirdos today. Like we've seen it. So,
so it's not like, because he's just, I don't know, for like a mean thing.
Right.
It's strictly a safety thing and not having a guy to know where you live. And I do agree that he should offer because that is the gentleman thing to do.
Yeah.
And it does like show a woman, oh, like, he's interested enough to come pick me up and, do the gentlemanly thing.
Right.
However, like you can politely decline and I'll just meet you there. Now, if you've gone on like 2 or 3 dates.
Yeah, then it's different. Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, you're somewhat involved. You like him. Like this is going somewhere. Still might not go all the way to relationship, but it's going somewhere.
Right.
Then I feel like you have better judgment of, if this person comes and picks me up and has my address, they're not going to murder me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
People always, I feel like when we've done things before about the murdering stuff, they're like, this is ridiculous, but this is how women think.
And there's a lot of...
they should be safe to some extent.
Because there are a lot of guys will disguise their true intentions and how they are in order to, kind of a chameleon in order to get a woman to like them. And then when a woman rejects them, then how do they act? Because a lot of guys don't. That's why a lot of women are afraid. That's why I have a boyfriend when she doesn't really have a boyfriend. That's why these things, I have to go to the bathroom and she disappears. Like it's not because
it's hard to say no.
Because it is.
You don't know how a man's going to respect.
Right. And it is really true that a lot of men are really creepy and will not handle rejection very well at all. Especially in a private setting where they're not in public, where
you really don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys that are sexually frustrated, and that's and so they're tired of being rejected by women, and so it is true. Like you should.
So
be careful.
I would say that I wanted to add that in there. Yeah. Like some women are still gonna do it.
Right.
I just think it's a good way. It's a good little test without being a test.
Right.
And also safe.
Yeah.
For a
I agree.
woman.
I agree.
Because like you said, if like a guy's like, why won't you let me come pick you up? Like whatever, he might have some like anger problems or not that I think a guy would do that outright. Like I don't think that's the majority response.
Right.
But it's also another indication of he might have this underlying anger sort of thing. And we've talked about men's anger before, and it's a very scary and real thing. And so I just wanted to throw that because I feel like that's the next segment, right? Like you scheduled a date, you talked about scheduling a date, and then the next part is am I going to come pick you up? Are we going to meet here? So I would say women, first date, don't let a guy come pick you up. Better safe than sorry.
I'm with you. That makes sense. As far as now setting the date for the guy, right? How should he set the date? What kind of date? Well, yeah. What kind of date should he set? And like I said, I mean, if your plans are a guy, like you might be thinking very short term, and it might just be you're just going to go and meet for drinks. And I think that's fine if that's what you want to do. But if you do want to set more of a date, and perhaps a lot of times the guy should be going for the easy date, right? And maybe the woman pushes back and is like, I don't just do drinks. That might be a good girl game thing. But the guy maybe should be saying, okay, let's just do something very casual. Just and not because you're a cheapskate. A lot of guys are like, oh, I don't want to pay for dinners and stuff like that. But because
that's what I was gonna say.
You don't have an investment that you're making at this point as a guy. You don't want to overly invest to start, right? However, I think that if you can't go wrong with if you do want to do a full date in dinner. But if you're going to do that, then you should do it the right way. And you definitely need to be making some moves because if you just set the drinks date, that already is sending a message, right? It already tends to send a message that you are interested in.
It is more casual, but I do think that men lean more towards that these days for what you said, that they don't want to pay for dinner.
Well,
because
see, that's not a good reason.
I've told people I don't really like drink dates because even back when I drink, like would go out, I just didn't enjoy doing it like very often.
Right.
And so I would turn them down. But me and you went on a drink date.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, it's not to say that I would never go on a drink date.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys now push that really hard because of the investment part, because of the like, I don't want to pay for a dinner, even if he likes her. Because what you said is that don't talk too much to her, or like, and so he doesn't know her enough to be like, I really like this girl. He would just know she's hot.
Right.
So he doesn't have any extra investment into it to be like, I'll take her on a date because she's this way. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
So I do feel like it's more of a money thing these days than a like casual thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a money thing. It should be like you're being casual because you're sending a message that I'm looking for. Money. Yeah, I'm looking for a casual, like, you know what I mean? But again, if you do set up a full date, which I'm not opposed to a guy doing that, and maybe that is good for a second date, but even it could be a first date, then the guy should be the way to ask for the date, right, is he should be giving all the instructions ahead of time. He shouldn't say, hey, what are you doing on Friday night? It's like, oh, where do you want to go? Or, or just, no, none of that. Instead, he should be saying, look, how about I'll meet you at such and such place at 7:00 on Thursday night, right? He's saying the time and the location, right, for her to meet. He's not giving a lot more details about that, right? But he should have something more planned, right? So you're not just going to go to dinner. You're going to go and meet somewhere. You're going to meet at the park, and you're going to walk around the lake, and then you're going to go to dinner.
Which
you're
women like that when a guy, plans it, and it's not like, well, where do you want to go?
Right. Yeah, you got to plan.
What do you want to eat?
The man should be making all the decisions and planning it and leading her through that, through the date, through the experience, creating an experience for her. That's what is going to produce the best result, right?
Which I think you can still ask some basic questions, like when do you get off work?
Yeah, sure.
Or is this day okay, like the evening time? Because you do, like, people have schedules, so you can't just throw something out there. I mean, you could, but be prepared that
but
someone's going to be like, oh, I
can't do that.
This
which
going
is fine.
on.
And in which case then,
or asking like, what type of food do you like or something like that? Like, are you feeling, or like being like, I wanted to try this Mexican place. Do you want to do it? So like, you're still choosing, but also, asking, because some people don't like Mexican foods. I don't know why, but so I think you still have to ask like key little things, but
if you're
what you're saying is right though, to just, ask your little questions if you want, and then make the plans, because women are very attracted to a guy that just makes the plans.
Right. You make the reservation, you make the plan, you tell her where to be, potentially what to wear if it's,
Oh, you're going that far?
I mean, hey, sometimes it's good to.
If a guy was like, wear this, I'd be like, what are we going to match? Like a matching couple on our first date?
Then he says,
girl game.
We'll see. You'll see. You'll see why, or even that's what I like. I would like to see you in a dress.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? I think that would work better date 3, because I would be like, I don't even know you, and you're going to tell me what to wear because that's what you like? I don't know you, Mr. Sir.
That's fine. Then the banter goes back and forth. If you can take the heat, then go for it. But if you can't take the heat, then you better not do it as a man, because she's probably going to come back at you and test you, and then you're going to have to respond well to it, without getting upset, right? But it could also be, if it's a mystery, if it's like, you don't know what the reservation is or what the restaurant is, I've got something special planned for us. Meet me at this place at 7:00. Wear something nice. Wear a dress. What? Now there's a well, it's a mystery. Because maybe it's a fancy restaurant. Maybe it's
okay. Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. I was thinking of like wear a red top and black pants.
Not that specific.
He's styling me now. I haven't even went on a date with him yet.
But you can say, stuff like that. But doing something like that, again, the idea is like to come across different than what other guys do by having a plan, by being not afraid to tell a woman what you want.
And you know what that is?
And what you like.
Masculine.
That's right. That's what it is.
And that's what women like. And even women who are like are in their masculine, they respect like you making a plan, setting it up. They will respect that no matter what. Like I said, maybe the wearing something, but when you explained it, like wear something nice, that's fine, because now you're letting her know that it might be fancy. Right. I was just taking it to the literal, but a woman will respect that, even if she's still in her masculine, which she's probably going to be because it's your first date. She will still respect that, and it will attract her more towards you, because again, it's allowing her to not have that responsibility. Right. And a lot of men put that responsibility still on women when they're making the first date, right? Right. So it's like a breath of fresh air for her to match with somebody and have some banter and be like, have the message pop up and he's like, meet me here at this time, wear something nice. She's like, I don't have to think about anything.
Right. Yeah. And she feels like, okay, this guy, he knows what he wants. Mm-hmm. He goes for what he wants. He's not afraid. He's not going to be iffy, like asking all these questions, and like he just says what he wants.
That's important too, because if you make it to a point where you guys get into a relationship, she'll remember those things and realize he wants me. And that means more, that like he chose me rather than I was just a girl who ended up liking him and he wanted to settle down with anybody. Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. So it's like, if he knows what he wants and he chose me, then I'm providing him something into his life that he can't get anywhere else. Right.
Yeah. And he's setting the frame for the relationship already by taking the lead. He's saying, okay, I'll tell you where we're going to go and what to do. I've taken the what do you call it? The well, not taking the. I've taken the initiative. I've taken charge of this situation. Yeah, and so she's more likely to follow your lead on the date because you've already set that frame in place, which is important, right? Mm-hmm. Which is going to hit her attraction trigger, which is going to make it. There's already chemistry at that point. Like there's much more chance of that because now you're acting in the masculine. So she's more likely to show up at the date acting in her feminine. Right. She already sees, because a woman does have to, in a way, look up to a guy, right? And a guy that already knows and says, seems more experienced, seems like, okay, he knows where to go, he knows what to do, that she feels more comfortable.
Well, she's more likely to look up to a masculine man because she's having to be in her masculine. Mm-hmm. And so if she sees somebody that's taken over that and is owning that and showing her that he can be masculine, she can almost start to be like, okay, this person is going to like take care of these things for me. I won't have to. So it almost has her start relaxing into her feminine from the very beginning.
Right.
Which, if you want that dynamic, which everybody should want, is a good way to even start, from the very beginning, very first date, start having that dynamic, start showing her your masculine, show her that she can relax into her feminine and you have it handled, because that's just going to be better going forward.
Exactly.
So I agree with that.
So, and then I guess I would say planning the date, you should have a plan. Mm-hmm. Even if you're going for drinks, you should have a plan, where that be go for drinks and then try to get her to come to your place or whatever you're going to do, like have a plan, right? So that, and if you're doing a more of a formal date, then it should be more than one activity. It's not just going for dinner. It's not just going for a movie. You're going to plan a couple of different things that you're going to do to make it something that is an experience. Because women, again, even in dating profiles, right? A lot of women will select men based on the lifestyle, based on what they are going to picture themselves. I mean, tell me if you disagree with this, but I think a lot of women picture themselves in that man's life and what would their life be like if they were in his life. So that's why, like with the dating photos, showing you in different places, doing different things, having a fun, exciting lifestyle is what's attractive to women, not just pics of you, ripped in the mirror with your selfie.
I mean, I guess
selfies. Better than